So we're going now to Isuzu, which all they have here as the premium car is the concept car that they thought up in 1989 called the 4200R. Not gonna lie, I dig it. Mid-engine rear-wheel drive. I see it like if Isuzu wanted to, they can easily bring this out. But I remember, if I'm not mistaken, Isuzu and I want to say it was Chevy, right? Was it General Motors? Had a thing together at one point, or still do, maybe, I don't even know. So this thing as a concept car, they're at 289 horsepower or 307 foot-pounds of torque. Oh, look at that. Wow. 1969 1600 GTR. I think that's a pretty cool little car. 114 horsepower, 101 foot-pounds torque. Not bad, not bad. Okay, that's pretty interesting. What we got here, the 1981 Piazza X. Yeah, that's definitely a car I would have never known existed if it wasn't for Gran Turismo. That's the thing, there's so many cars out there, man. There are so many different types of cars. So this one's sitting at 128 horsepower with 119 foot-pounds torque. Oh shit, look at this. 1968 117 coupe. I like that one. I like the styles of that one. Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool style. At 114 horsepower, that's the same as that other one. Yeah, this is nice. I think as stylings, I kind of dig this one a little bit more. Go to Mazda real quick. I know that one's got a decent amount of cars. So there's 10 on this list from premium Mazda. This is the Roadster RS from 2009. See, I don't understand what NC means. What does the NC mean? Somebody tell me. So horsepower, 159, torque, 135 on a car that's 1,100 kilograms. That's just a little fun car to throw around. That's pretty much what, you know, a little fucking Miata really is. This is the RX-8 Type S. That's another thing, that there's so many types. You're not my type. You're an S. I want an A. No. This is a rotary motor, so it's a 654 by 2 cc. See, that the rotary motor is definitely an interesting piece of design. I mean, that's an interesting motor. Which this in particular is pumping out 240 horsepower with 156 foot-pounds of torque. So it's a decent amount of power on an engine. Nothing really to... The only thing I know is you've got to have the oil the right way and change the oil the right way. But it does consume oil or something like that. So, Atenza Sport 25Z. That's an interesting car that I definitely haven't seen here in the United States. That's definitely something that would be strictly out in Japan. I mean, there might be one car that resembles it that are here in the United States, but Now this RX-7 Type R. Infinity? This definitely, there's so many different ones in this damn game. So that's also, it's 654 times 2 cc. Okay, so 244 horsepower at 210 foot-pounds of torque. And that's another thing, like these aren't just something easy to modify too. Like you gotta be careful how you do it. Now here's something that, oh, this is another one that if you guys wanted to check it out, Doug did a review on this car. And Doug DeMuro, if you don't know who that is, pull him up. Good car reviewer, great car reviewer if you ask me. He's even have the Doug score. This thing. It's just Autozam. I mean, what a small fucking car. It's got 61 horsepower, 60 foot-pounds of torque at a weight of 720 kilograms. What can I say? It's one small-ass fucking car, man, from 1992. And then we have another Miata. So this Roadster J Limited NA from 1991. Yeah, there's so many different fucking cars. There's so many different Miatas, not even funny. So this one is RX-7 GTX in 1990. Only seen so many of these that are out there. I know there was one guy, he's got one that he put an LSV8 in it and then he has it for drifting. So that's what he decided to do with it. I know on this one, definitely a rotary motor. At 197 horsepower, 192 foot-pounds of torque. Yeah, I mean, not that many. I haven't come across many of this year. Oh, look at this iconic race car. The 787B race car from 1991. I think this one kicked a lot of ass at that time that sucker was riding around. So this is an RX-7 Spirit R Type A. See, now that's my type. So this one's from 2002. The 2002 model. This one is a 284 horsepower with 237 foot-pounds torque. Definitely more power, substantial more power than the other one. I ain't gonna lie, just on basic stylings though, that car is a nice looking car though. If I'm not mistaken, DeMuro did do a review on an RX-7, so you might want to check that out. Let's see what else we got. Another type of Miata. NA special package. So the other one was a 91. This is 1989. So this is at 114 horsepower with 98 foot-pounds of torque. Yeesh. That some low numbers. Low numbers, man. Mazda. Oh boy. All right, I'm definitely skipping some shit here. There's 93 fucking cars here from Mazda as the standard cars. So we got Miata, we got an RX-7. RX-7, here's an older RX-7. I want to look at this older one. So 1990 RX-7 GTX FC. This is at 197 horsepower with 192 foot-pounds of torque. So that's a rotary. Miata. There's the Autozam. Autozam. Let me look at it. 1 horsepower, 60 foot-pounds torque, baby. That little fucking thing. Then obviously that race car, the 787B. That thing right there is for the most part a legend. So now what the fuck is this? Ella? Huh. Isn't that just like the Mazda? So this is at 164 horsepower at 152 foot-pounds of torque. Okay. Alright. Oh, look at this thing. Oh yeah, I remember this. This is such a wicked car. Now that is cool as hell, man. So how do you say it? Ferrari? Ferrari? It's almost like saying Ferrari in Japanese, maybe? Wonder if that's kind of what they were leaning with. Dude, honestly, the stylings on this is a beautiful fucking look. And I remember the rear. Oh yeah, the rear and the way the tail lights were and the way that. Look at that, dude. You can't tell me that doesn't look cool. Damn, that looks pretty cool. I like that shit. It's dark as fuck, but I like it. So this is a 486 horsepower, 291 foot-pounds of torque. There goes another Miata and another Miata. Actually, let me look at this one because this is the one when pop-up headlights were gone. And they had fixed light. These were pumping out like this one is 119 horsepower, 101 foot-pounds of torque. So this one, Jesus, wait a minute. So this is a 119. This is a 119. This is 155 horsepower. This one's 155 horsepower. Oh, look at this thing. This is the concept of their crossport, the MX crossport. Look at that thing. Wow. So their idea of this concept would have produced 247 horsepower at 271 foot-pounds of torque and would have weighed 1,600 kilograms. Miata, RX-7, RX-7, RX-7. So that's a 96 RX-7, 95, 93, 92. This is the only thing that I'm like, this guy overdid it on the idea of how many RX-7s and shit you're throwing here. This one's interesting. This one's a 1985 GT Limited, and it kind of looks a little different than those other ones. So this one's a lot less horsepower, of course, is the 85. 176 horsepower with 175 pounds of torque. It's an RX-7, an RX-7, an RX-7. Damn, look at that. So you gotta have the 96, the 95, the 93, and the 92. And then here you got the Type RSR as a 97. But then you got this one as a 96. And then you got this one as a 95. And then this one's a 93. And this one's a 2000. Oh shit. Then 2 Miatas at 95, but one's a Miata Special I, and the other one's just the MX-5 Special I. That's the thing, like over here, they don't call it, they call it an MX-5 in Japan, yet here they call it a Miata. It's funny how it's the opposite compared to certain cars, where over here we would have the numbers. Like technically it should have been MX-5 here, and over there Miata, but I guess Miata pulls more attention somehow. And here's the Mazda 6, the 5-door model. There it is. It's 169 horsepower, 153 foot-pounds of torque. Alright, so this is a 1967 110S, an L10A. This is a wicked little thing too, man. 940 kilograms. It's popping 105 horsepower with 93 foot-pounds of torque. This is the one where that rear tail lights reminded me of another car. I just can't remember. So this is 1967 Cosmos Sport, the L10A. So they're both like the same car. Okay, so they're both an L10A, but that's a 110S and that's called a Cosmo Sport. Right, okay. The Mazda Speed and Tezza. Yeah, that's pretty much like that other one, the Mazda 6. So Miata. So we got a 95, a 93, a 95, a 93. Fuck, man. And then there's NA apostrophe J, and then the NA, there's the MX. So this one's the 2003 RX-8. So by that time, they had this one at 200 horsepower and 158 foot-pounds of torque on the rotary motor. I gotta admit, I thought this was ugly. Like, I think this is such a downgrade to an actual RX-7. That's why I treat them like two separate cars. When it's called an RX-7, that's one type of car. And an RX-8 is like a whole nother car. They both happen to have a rotary motor, but I don't put them in the same ball game. Like, I don't say that this one is the newer one or whatever like that, because it's not. Like, it's got the little suicide doors for back seats. The other one didn't have back seats. It's just, this is a downgrade. Like, I think it looks like shit compared to a regular fucking RX-7. There it goes in the Trezor Sport. Hey, one S. Oh, this one's different. This one's called the L10B. It's got more power. Look at that. 122 horsepower and 99 foot-pounds of torque. Ooh. Miata. Oh, look at this thing. This is the 323F. Oh, that's an interesting car. This is the one that had that weird symbol in the front that Mazda was using for a little while. It was just an interesting little emblem there on the front of the car. Like, oh, look, the Protege. What? Mazda Protege. That's definitely a car that a decent amount of people bought. That car sold. It was reasonably priced and it was nice. This one's 157 horsepower at 126 foot-pounds torque. RX-8, Miata RX-8. RX-7. Oh, look at this one. Limited edition race car version. Let me see what it looks like. Oh, that's pretty cool. So it's like those other ones, though, that design. All right. And then this one's a touring car, the Mazda 6. So this is pumping out 295 horsepower at 202 foot-pounds of torque. Oh, that's the concept of that car. What the fuck is this? DeMuro GLX. That's definitely something sold out there. This one's at 95 horsepower, 91 foot-pounds torque. There's the other one, the L10B of the Cosmo. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Look at it. The 1962 Curl 360 Deluxe. It's like the little itty bitty luxury. That's cute. That's an interesting style. You can tell that's 60s, man. The stylings back in the day that people had, it's kind of cool. That back window was flat as shit, too. This is only 17 horsepower and 16 foot-pounds of torque on a 560 kilogram car. But it's a four-door. I mean, how crammed in there would this be? Like, this will be a car I would love to, like, physically see firsthand to see how small this thing really is. Savania 7 RX-7, another Miata, another Intezza, which is technically the other one, touring car, Mazda 2, so that's like that one we were looking at, the Mazda 2. Yeah, that's that one. There it is. RX-7, DeMuro Sport, Falcon. Oh, what the fuck is this? Usabi Concept. Wow, that'd be pretty cool if that came out for real, legit. 142 horsepower, 128 pounds of torque is what they claim it would have. Familia. It's a Familia. Oh, that's like the Protege. So wait a minute. See, I don't know what these names, bro. Familia. So that almost makes me feel like this is a Japanese car, but maybe this is sold in maybe a Hispanic country like Spain, or maybe this is sold in Italy. Oh, look at this thing. What the fuck is this? Lantis Coupe. Oh, that's like that one we were looking at. Oh, shit. Coupe 2000 Type R. Mazda 8 Concept, and the Mazda 8 Concept racing car. This one shares that paint job that that legendary one has. All right, here we go. Mines. Say more mines. Mines. Fucking seagulls. Okay. 573 horsepower at 420 foot-pounds torque. And this is the Lancer Evolution. Mugen. Let's see what they got. So they got a regular S2000. Shit. It's got fucking hood that's kind of cool. They didn't do that much. Alright, Nismo is a company that be hooking their cars up to this one. Not that much horsepower. What the fuck did he do here? It's only 265 horsepower at 235 foot-pounds of torque. What did you do to this car? Like, compared to the regular ones in Nissan. Like, this is a 400R, okay, how much power is it got? A 382 horsepower and 335 foot-pounds of torque. Is that, like, advanced? Is that hooked up? Is that what it's supposed to be? Like, this one's the Skyline GTR, 437 horsepower, 339 foot-pounds of torque. That sounds like that one got hooked up. What's going on here? The 1994 270R. 258 horsepower, 242 foot-pounds of torque. Alright, let's see here. GTR LM road going version. So that's like a racing body, but you can have that out on the street. So how much power is this one got? 291 with 266 foot-pounds of torque. Skyline GTR S-Tune, the R32 model. So 390 horsepower with 308 foot-pounds of torque at 1,500 kilograms. And this one's the like Fairlady Z2, Z33 model. 372 horsepower at 310 foot-pounds of torque. I'm not impressed. I don't know. Not impressed. Alright, let's get out of that. Mine. So this is a BNR 34 Skyline GTR N1 base. 2006 is when they dealt with this. I'm not gonna lie, it looks cool. I like the way they did the little signature thing there. That's kind of cool. I'm not too familiar with this company at all, but I see the little cues of downforce from the front and stuff like that. Let's see what power is. 573 horsepower at 420 foot-pounds of torque. Okay, let's see what else we got. We got Nissan. Let's see, Nissan 34 Lexus. This was one with the racing mod, the ISF 2007. So it's funny, like I was doing the American one, it's got Lexus, and now this one's got Lexus. Ineos SC430. See that? Even that for an original thick car, they thinned it out a little bit. It's not as thick. So this is a 465 horsepower at 364 foot-pounds of torque. Here's a car that I gotta admit does have an interesting exhaust note. The Lexus LFA 2010. Very interesting car. I understand what they're trying to do, but see, Lexus is mostly luxury, not performance. And then the brand belongs to Toyota. Neither one has like this huge pull in the performance market to then make a car like this one as an example, where they can make a lot of them and expect to sell them. Like this, I don't know how many sold, but I don't think it was that many. It just was too much money. I mean, nobody wants to spend like crazy money on a Lexus. It's a Lexus. Toyota, you know, you can expect big money from Ferrari, you know, Lamborghinis. Those are big money. Yeah, they don't want to spend. There's no one out there saying, oh yeah, I want to spend whole gobs of money on a Lexus. No. Don't get me wrong, I like the car. I think the car looks cool. The exhaust sounded cool. This is a 535 horsepower with 343 foot-pounds of torque. So it's not like super crazy strong, but it's a nice, good performance. I mean, it's nice. Oh, look at the concept version of what an ISF racing car would look like. Honestly, I dig it. I think it looks nice. I would totally drive that. This would predict it to be a 509 horsepower at 405 foot-pounds of torque. And then we got the racing version of what an SC430 would be as. Let's see, Wed Sport, the IS350. Crazy colors. They definitely try to shove a whole bunch of different ads and sponsors on these vehicles. This is technically a Tom's. Okay. And then we got this one. Denso. I like how everything, but they keep a grill that kind of looks factory. It's kind of cool. So those were at two at 465 horsepower, one at 307, and then this is just a regular 2007 ISF. Now this one I've seen this car too a lot, and it's interesting to see that hood, the way it bulges upward. Like the way they did that body line there, the fender to go down towards the headlight, and then the hood's kind of bulging up. It's like you would predict that this thing's got a chunky motor in there. Which this one in particular, I mean, it's a 5.0 liter engine, 431 horsepower at 361 foot-pounds of torque. So it's not a pushover. You know, it's a pretty good power. RE Amemiya. This is like a modified race car for RX-7. Okay. Not bad. 311 horsepower, 235 foot-pounds of torque. And then what we got here? Regular RX-7, the FD3S. Okay. So they took out the pop-up headlight. Pop-up, up and down headlights. That's some nice ground effects, to be honest. Like, I think those look pretty nice. 356 horsepower, 336 foot-pounds of torque. Subaru. Oh God, here we go. The WRX STI Spec C Type RA Racing Mod Impreza. That's definitely a car that's been in high competition with Mitsubishi Evo. These two go at each other like, I mean, that's the yin and yang right there. This one's sitting at 303 horsepower with 325 foot-pounds of torque. Not bad. This is a 2010 Impreza sedan WRX STI. The last time I saw a nice one of these, I gotta admit, the exhaust note of that one and some of the other ones I've come across that were about this one here, I gotta admit, those exhaust notes sounded really good compared to most four cylinders. Fortunately, this is the only one I think that sounds good. I mean, all the other four cylinders, the way they decide to like, I just know, like this though, like it's got a nice tone, like just, it sounds aggressive. It sounds like it ain't bullshit. You know, it sounds like it's actual performance, and I enjoy it. I really do. I really do. Would I own one? No, because that Boxer 4 engine, that's a pain in the ass to work on. Pain in the ass. I wouldn't want to do it. This is a 293 horsepower at 303 foot-pounds torque. So it's not crazy horsepower, but it's not bad. Here's a racing car version of one, 2008. That's not bad. Okay. This is the WRC. So that's the one that's like a coupe, little wagon type shit. So 318 horsepower at 427 foot-pounds of torque. See, that's some nice torque. I mean, that kind of torque on all-wheel drive, I mean, that's nice. On a car that's 1,230 kilograms. Yeah, that thing, it'd be booking. And here's a regular 2007 model WRX STI. And then we have a 2005 WRX STI Spec C at 272 horsepower or 307 foot-pounds of torque. Subaru. Oh my God, look at the first Subaru. Look at that. 1958 Subaru 360. You know, I almost didn't know that fucking Subaru was ever around that old. I didn't think they were that old, to be honest. 14 horsepower, 21 foot-pounds of torque. Car is 385 kilograms. Wow. All right, so WRX. We all know what the WRX looks like. Oh, look at this one, the Legacy. It's a Legacy. The touring wagon. The Legacy, the B4, that's the station wagon. No, that's the station wagon of that. Then there's this, 301 horsepower. The Legacy wagon, Legacy. Not many of these wagons pop up. I don't think there's any Legacies that I've seen. Cause like I've definitely seen this, you know, like I've definitely seen a WRX like this. I have seen them, but that's it. All right, let's see. Suzuki. So this is the racing mod version of the Suzuki Cappuccino. That little ass thing. He's so cute. Little piece of shit. So this is at 68 horsepower, 78 foot-pounds of torque, and it's 590 kilograms. I wonder what that would really feel like. See, it's something like that. I wouldn't mind getting into it and seeing how that feels. A vehicle of that weight with that power. Like, does that feel good enough? Is that adequate? Is the power to weight ratio adequate enough? I'm sure the handling will be fine. So I don't know. Now this is a Suzuki SX4 WRC. I believe there are Suzukis being sold here in the United States when it comes to, I think I saw one that's like a sedan version of maybe this. This is at 316 horsepower, 420 foot-pounds of torque. This is definitely not something here that would be in the United States. Servo SR. Yeah. 61 horsepower, 69 foot-pounds of torque. That's definitely not here. Oh, look at that. The Suzuki Swift Sport. It's amazing. Like, ain't none of these cars I've seen before until I got into the Gran Turismo franchise, of course. This is 119 horsepower at 105 foot-pounds of torque. And you got the Swift Sport 2005. Oh, my. And then here's the regular 1991 Cappuccino. Look at that. And it's funny how they got this bracket. They got this thing. So it's a EA11R. What the fuck does that mean? 60 horsepower, 60 foot-pounds of torque, 700 kilograms. I don't know. It's funny. And here's a 1995 Cappuccino, the EA21R. So this one's, I guess, more. Yeah, it's one more horsepower, and it's 73 foot-pounds of torque. Oh, and then a whopping 10 kilograms less. So between this 95 and the 91 is the 95 is better. Nissan. Why do there have to be so many Nissans? All right, let's go through it. So this is a 2008 370Z tuned car for the GT Academy. If not mistaken, in junction with Gran Turismo, this Nissan vehicle was being used for the actual legitimate academy. They even did competitions on the game to sum up how many individuals would be like, you know, the top 10, I guess, of drivers in the game. And then later, they would take those 10 drivers, put them in real world vehicles, and then track them in that. And then eventually it gets down to the point where I knew they did a competition. I don't know which vehicle. I don't know if it was with this vehicle or not. But they did do a setup where a person would win and be able to be contracted to be a legitimate race car driver. And I thought that was pretty cool. That's the other thing about this game, is that this is a simulator that goes almost down to the T of what the car's performance should be in real world. Like, I've actually seen someone I should say I've seen a real race car driver use Gran Turismo as his practice, and he says damn near fucking there. I think for his particular track he was going to get on was the Nürburgring. I think he was going to have one of that long ass race that's on Nürburgring. So this here is at 362 horsepower, 295 foot-pounds of torque. Go Silvias. So this is an Academy one, sitting at 238 horsepower, 196 foot-pounds of torque. And we got the Skyline GTR V-Spec 2 Nür. That Nür feels like, I believe, is supposed to be dealing with the Nürburgring. 326 horsepower, 335 foot-pounds of torque. A 1994 Skyline GTR V-Spec 2 GT Academy, 296 horsepower. And then this one here is the 2012 GTR Black Edition tuned car for the GT Academy. So this one's pumping out 525 horsepower with 452 foot-pounds of torque. This one's a 2012 Black Edition, but it's different, right? Just a little bit, ever so slightly. Same amount of horsepower as the other one. I don't know, both they say Black Edition, but one's a tuned car and one's not. Oh, I see the difference already on this list. That tuned car is 1,480 kilograms, while the regular one is 1,730 kilograms. The Nissan Leaf G, really? See, this should be a full electric car. So this one's pumping out only 107 horsepower with 206 foot-pounds of torque. That is all demand power, though. Then we got the Schultz Motorsport. I believe this is like the legit one that did a damn good lap time, I think, on the Nürburgring, if I'm not mistaken. This is 486 horsepower with 438 foot-pounds of torque. And this one here is a special Academy. Look at that. The GTR Spec V GT Academy Special. See, 478 horsepower at 434 foot-pounds of torque. This is a regular one, 2009 GTR Spec V GT Academy version. This one is a racing modified one of the Silvia Spec R Aero. Okay, that looks nice. This one's pumping out 265 horsepower at 208 foot-pounds of torque at 1,000 kilograms. Oh, look at that. The exhaust comes right after that front fender there. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Now this is one of those race cars. Oh shit, that's a hell of a square piece right there. And then this one's 350Z tuned car Academy. And then this one's another 370Z. Might have a whole bunch of them. Okay, here's another race car for GTR. Mutol Autech. 479 horsepower is what these bad boys pumping out, huh? This GTR Calsonic. This looks like a regular 2009 GTR V Spec V. So 478 horsepower at 434 foot-pounds of torque. See, that's not a bad number for this V6, but it's just, it's the idea that it's such a heavy car. You know what I mean? And this is the Nismo. Now here's a 1990 Sylvia K's DIA selection. This is 166 horsepower with 161 foot-pounds of torque. Ah, there's the name of what they really call these things over there. The Fair Lady Z. So it's a Z34 version of. So that's the name they pretty much have for that vehicle over there. Like we have it in the United States as a 350, 370Z, but they were calling it the Fair Lady. The old models, that they had one, the Fair Lady. That was their name over there in Japan. So 321 horsepower, 261 foot-pounds of torque. I ain't gonna lie, I did like the styling of this one. I thought it was pretty good. The brand new one coming out, I think it looks nice. I like how it's a combination of a few different Z's. 2007 March 12 SR. Here, 105 horsepower, 96 foot-pounds of torque. 2002 Sylvia Spec R Aero. I ain't gonna lie though. These particular Sylvias though, I like that body style. That's nice. 238 horsepower, 196 foot-pounds of torque. Let's see. This one's called the Skyline. So this is the one that they would call the Skyline over there. And essentially what it is that this is what the Infiniti G35 is, but over there as under the Nissan brand called the Skyline Coupe. They call it a 350 GT Type SP on this, and that's the other thing. Is like over here they'll have more numbers than some names, but also they'll have like this is a Skyline over there, but there is no such thing as a Skyline over here in the United States. That's a United States model car. This has got 318 horsepower with 259 foot-pounds of torque. Then they got the regular 2007 GTR, which this one's pumping out 469 horsepower with 429 foot-pounds of torque. Here's another Fair Lady. This is the Z33 model, so version S. So this is the one where I was talking about when I was parking cars at that one restaurant. This is the one that came around. I remember the very first one of this, which is technically the 350Z, but this one's being called the Fair Lady. But the one here in the United States is 350Z, and the first one that came around, I remember it was this color, the premium passionate orange, and I was like, I think it's a nice color, and I thought it was pretty cool. I got in it. I thought it was a nice car. I really did. I really think it's a nice car. This one's at 301 horsepower at 256 foot-pounds of torque. Black Mask. Last I remember, Black Mask is just one that they're trying to cover up what the fuck it looks like when they do testing or whatever. So this is the Proto, so it's like a prototype version of the car, the GTR, and this was back in 2005. So supposedly this would have had 432 horsepower and 395 foot-pounds of torque. So now here's the Skyline sedan, which is like that one Infiniti, what was it, G35 sedan? Which it makes sense because they have the old school Skyline. They have an old school vehicle that was four-door, and that was called the Skyline, as Nissan goes in Japan. And this would be technically the one that they have at that time in 2006, and it would be called the Skyline. 300 horsepower, 256 foot-pounds of torque. And this is a 2006 car, Z model. And then this is the Skyline GTR V-Spec, which is an R32 from 1994. So these were at 296 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. Now this is technically my favorite Z, which is the 300ZX. In Japan they call it the Fair Lady Z, of course. Something about this style I liked a lot. 1989 model. But the newer car that's coming out, the brand new Z, its rear tail lights match this right here. It's got that kind of style rear tail light on that one. So I thought that's pretty cool. So that's one of the ways you know that that newer one has different ports. So like the 370Z chassis is what the new one's using, which some people got upset. I'm like, why are you upset? I mean, if it's a good chassis and you want to save money, there you go. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So use the chassis you got, throw a new fucking body on it, different engine, transmission, etc. You know, you can do that, which that's what they're doing. They're using the chassis of the 370Z. Then they got Q portions on the body where where this area of the body resembles the rear end of this. Like the rear end of that one reminds me of this. Then the front headlights remind me of the old Z, stuff like that. And then the motor's like, apparently the motor's going to be a naturally aspirated 400 horses. I mean, what the fuck else? I mean, people were getting all upset for fucking nothing. I know this one here is at 267 horsepower, 277 foot-pounds of torque. I believe the only other thing about this car is the way the V6 was on this, that they were a bitch to work on. That somebody was telling me that there are mechanics who would refuse to work on them. And I was like, damn, that's pretty bad. But that's here in the United States. I'm wondering if it's that same kind of animosity and shit and disdain for the motor over there in Japan. Like, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure there'll be plenty of mechanics out in Japan that will easily work on the damn thing, you know? So this is a 1997 Skyline GTR V-Spec. So this is at 310 horsepower, 305 foot-pounds of torque. And then this one, the 2002 Skyline GTR V-Spec 2. So I think this is just like that other one, but it's definitely a fucking crazy color. Millennium Jade. I'm not gonna lie, that's a hell of a color. Fucking Nissan. Now this, iconic. This is a fast motherfucker right here. The R92 CP race car. 911 horsepower, 667 foot-pounds of torque. Only 900 kilograms. Alright, so let me skip all these Skylines. We know what the fuck. I want to look at this though. The Fair Lady Z. It's amazing how I believe it was the Diablo? Yeah, I think it was the Diablo. Lamborghini Diablo shared those headlights. They got the headlights from Nissan, for these right here. And last I remember, they had it where, so those headlights actually said Nissan at the bottom half, the very bottom. And if you look at the Diablo closely, they have like this little lip piece that covers just over that area. But if you were to take that little lip piece off, see that it said Nissan. Alright, so 350Z, 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 option stream. Oh yeah, that one. Cosmetic. Or cosmetic. Sonic. Oh, here we go. This is something nice. So, 1967 Skyline 2000 GTB. So this is technically what I was talking about from earlier on that one Skyline. It's like, this is the old Skyline. It was a 4-door car. And then that newer big car that has 4 doors. That's the new version of it. And that's what a real Skyline is. That old car is pretty cool. 119 horsepower at 119 foot-pounds of torque. Sylvia. So there's Sylvia Q, 99, 96, 93, 91, 88. There's all these Skylines. Okay, let's skip through some of these. God damn it. There's so many Type R's and the V-Spec and the N1. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Ah, here we go. This is nice. So this is what like an old real badass Skyline is. Right here. This is it. This is what a GTR was, man. The Skyline HT 2000 GTR, man. 1970. If I'm not mistaken, too, this car did show up in the Fast and Furious. It was one of the movies. Paul Walker was still a thing, okay? And that was one of the movies that were in another country. And this was the Skyline he was driving in that one. Because they always try to do that in those movies where Dom either had a Charger or another, Mopar of some kind. In Paul Walker's case was just having a Skyline or another type of Nissan, which in this case they gave him this older GTR, and I thought that was just fucking cool. I like that kind of signature thing, like that's that person's signature. In this case, we got 152 horsepower at 126 foot-pounds of torque. Now, here's another one. This one looks nice, too. I believe this one's more the one that he had in that movie. I gotta think about it. But this is 1973 Skyline 2000 GTR with the KPGC 110, whatever the fuck that is. 152 horsepower, 126 foot-pounds of torque. But yeah, this has a nice style. I like the style of that car. Really good style. Sylvia's, what the fuck is this? Marcia. Wow. So that's like this one. This one's called March. I guess that's the newer version of that old March we were looking at. Oh man, I remember this one. Gran Turismo Skyline. That's the Skyline of Gran Turismo. If I'm not mistaken, there's one with lights. Oh my god, look at this thing. Canopy LA version Type S. So this is a 1988, huh? This is an interesting car. So it's like a wagon, but it's only two-door. So this is 109 horsepower at 98 pounds torque. Oh man, that's definitely 80s taillights. Oh, look at those. Yeah, I love that shit. Oh, look at that Bluebird rally car version of the of that one Skyline type shit we had seen, right? Bird hardtop. Let me take a look at that real quick. That does look pretty cool. So 1979. That's a 79. So that's a 98 horsepower, 105 foot-pounds of torque. Oh, look at that. Stagia. Now that's a wagon. So this is 1998. So that's 272 horsepower, 263 foot-pounds of torque, four-wheel drive. But it's a whopping 1,720 kilograms. And then this one's got less horsepower. It's the same shit, less horsepower. Oh shit, look at this one. So this is a 1962 Skyline Sport Coupe. Oh wow, that's that old school right there. Look at the way those headlights were. What? You know damn well that was some cool styling back in the day, man. Fucking old cars got some fucking wicked shit going on, man. That looks nice. I think that looks pretty cool. See, that's like a gentleman Skyline sports car. You know what I mean? So Skyline, 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 Skyline. Oh, look at the purple. Oh, it's got purple. What the hell is this one? Oh, see, this is what I was talking about. So there it is. Skyline Sedan 350 GT. So this is like the newer version of those old sedans that we were just looking at. Like this one. This is an example right here too. 1963 Skyline 1500 Deluxe. See? What the fuck is this, Sylvia? Oh shit. Look at that square ass motherfucker. 1983 240 RS Sylvia. That's kind of cool in a way. There's people that love that square shit. Like, I kind of dig it. 228 horsepower and 168 foot-pounds torque. Oh shit, what's this? 1965 Sylvia. What? Look at that. Yeah. Now that's a Sylvia. I think that looks really nice. That's pretty cool style. So this is at 85 horsepower, 94 foot-pounds torque. Not bad. This one's kicking. Okay. Poe. Is that Poe? Look at Poe. 1989 Poe. 49 horsepower, 53 foot-pounds of torque, huh? Race car of that. Ooh, there we go. My kind of Z's too. Boom. 1983 Fairlady Z. The 300 ZX. See, that one, I like that one. So 217 horsepower with 238 foot-pounds of torque. Nice. So that's a 3-liter engine right there. Kicking pretty good. That's not bad power, man. Oh, here we go. This is one of the ones I was thinking about from the front end cues. That light, the way that headlight is in that front, it mirrors what the new Z's got for a front end. Brand new Z has that kind of front end right there. But I think the older one is even more like that. But this one, see, if you look at the side, see how the side view of this one is? This side view is what the new one's got for the most part, right? That side view, but then it's got the rear as the other Z. So it's nice. No, I love the combo idea of the merging of all these styles. Look at this little Fairlady 2000. Look at that little bitty thing, 1968. And as you can see, it says Datsun on the front of this car. And then it was like Nissan. Maybe, I'm wondering if that's a thing. Like, is the Fairlady name part of Datsun? And then when Nissan has, and everything was merging and it's just now Nissan, that was one of the things that was adopted from Datsun is the name Fairlady. So this is at 137 horsepower and 126 foot-pounds of torque. So these are like a Sylvia. The 240 SX was just Sylvias. That's a Sylvia. That's like a Sylvia. There's that 2x2. Let's see something here. Skyline sedan. There's definitely like that one. The Nissan R390 GT1 road car. So as a road-going vehicle, at 341 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque. Concept, the Toyo Motor Show. So I guess this is when they brought out this big beast, the GTR Toyo Motor Show 2001. There it is. Let's get the lights, son. What? There it is. Bitch. Yeah. And if I'm mistaken, if I take this out, I can get the lights to turn on. So Skyline. Puermero? What the hell's a Puermero 20V? That's definitely something I haven't seen before. So 190 horsepower, 147 foot-pounds of torque. The race car versions of fucking Skylines. That's a 350Z. There's a Skyline. Oh, hey, look at this one. This is a 1984 Skyline HT 2000 RSX Turbo. C. 195 horsepower, 175 foot-pounds of torque. Turbo. Oh, look at that one. Is that the same thing, technically? Just the R30 version. This is a Turbo RS. These fucking guys, man. So this is 190 horsepower and 161 foot-pounds of torque. Oh shit, it's the B1, son. 1987 B1. Look at that little guy. Skyline Sylvia. Oh, look at the cube. 1998. So that's the cube that was over there in Japan. There it is. Oh my god, there it is. A 1971 240 ZG, son. That little old school fun. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put this on favorite. Wonder if I can change that paint job because I don't know. I don't know if I really want to keep that. But this is nice. So this sucker here at 1971, right? Back then, this was a 143 horsepower and 147 foot-pounds of torque on a 1,010 kilogram car. That wasn't that bad. Roadster. Oh shit, Eminem. That M&M's? Oh, that kind of car, right? 350Z. C West Razzo Sylvia. Shit, check that out. So that's GTR, Z, Skyline, March. Oh, there's the cube. So that's the one. So this ended up coming over to the United States, I know for sure. Just seen one the other day. And yeah, I don't know if it really sold a lot though, because I only see one here and there. So this is at 93 horsepower, 98 foot-pounds of torque. Oh my god, it's the Bluebird. 1969, 1600 deluxe. Nice. So there's that. Still 80, 1998. So it's like a Sylvia. So 197 horsepower, 196 foot-pounds of torque. Is that why? Oh yeah, that's pretty crazy. Primera. So this is 1990 Primera. What the fuck? Nissan Skyline. So no, wait a minute. This is 1987. Oh, okay. Pretty squared. So this is a 200 horsepower, 175 foot-pounds of torque on a 2-liter engine. Huh. Interesting. Oh, look at that. A 240 RS Rally? I don't remember that one. Okay. That's that one we were looking at. Alright. Fair Lady, Fair Z, Primera. Okay. Okay, cool. Opera Performance. Oh, God. It's just another 350Z in a different way. 334 horsepower, 249 foot-pounds of torque. S2000, 261 horsepower, 172 foot-pounds of torque. That's a racing car of an RX-7. Let's take a look at it real quick. That's pretty interesting. Okay.